Welcome everyone to Shaper Sessions. My name is Jake.
And I'm Russ.
We have an incredibly exciting show for you today, and it's an international show. We are joined by our friends over in Stuttgart, Germany.
Hi everyone. A hearty welcome also from our side, from Stuttgart studio. So my name is Mirja and with me is Flo.
Hello everyone.
And yeah, I also want to welcome our German-speaking friends. So I will switch to German for 2 seconds. Herzlich willkommen, schön, dass ihr da seid. Wir freuen uns natürlich auch, wenn ihr eure Fragen in Deutsch in den Chat stellt und wir beantworten auch gerne in Deutsch. But now let's hand back to San Francisco.
Thanks, Mirja. We have a lot of really exciting new faces on this show today. Another one from our engineering team here in San Francisco is Justine.
Hi everyone, I'm Justine and I'm happy to be welcoming our French-speaking community today. Bonjour, bonsoir, en fonction d'où vous êtes sur le globe. À toute notre communauté francophone qui nous suit aujourd'hui, on a énormément d'annonces à partager et on est très heureux que vous soyez là. L'événement va être dans son intégralité en anglais, mais on est disponible dans le chat pour répondre à toutes vos questions en français, donc surtout n'hésitez pas. Voilà, merci et back to Russ and Jake.
So, as you know, we've been releasing a lot of new products and accessories lately, and we wanted to take the opportunity during this show to talk through all of them, the complete Shaper system. We've got Workstation, your solution for vertical work holding and for fixturing small parts.
We've got Plate, our recent released universal template for Origin.
We've got Shaper Studio, simplified digital design for craftspeople.
And an ever-growing Shaper hub, from everything from premium projects to community design projects, and of course, hardware catalog, which is an ever-growing go-to spot for all your Shaper verified and cut-tested hardware files.
So, as we do for all of these shows, we're going to answer all your questions in the comments. Please, I expect we're going to have a lot of questions on this show in any language. We're going to try to answer those, put those questions in the comments, and we'll get to them. The project in the context of which we are going to be talking about the Shaper system today is this beautiful hanging wall cabinet. So let's pull this down from the cleat wall, and we'll talk through it here. So first off, we've got these box joints right here. We love to cut box joints on Workstation. We also designed these box joints in Shaper Studio, and we'll show those to you. These are a little bit more complex than the on-tool CAD designed box joints that we typically show on this show because they're unevenly spaced. So they're a little wider in the middle, they're a little narrower on the edge. We've been calling them tasteful box joints here. All right. We've also got, designed in Shaper Studio, this front curvature to match this radiused Coopered panel front door on this cabinet.
And of course, if we go into the inside, we have some very nice concealed hinges, the Sauce 101, which we found on the hardware catalog, and we installed using Shaper Plate, which we'll go over later on. Very tricky little setup to cut precise hinges on the inside of a curved panel.
Or normally would be, right?
Normally would be, I should say.
But we'll show you a really good trick for that. Okay, so let's put this back on the wall here, and I gotta say, last but not least, we might have buried the lead on this one, Jake. The most exciting announcement of the day. Let's pull it up. We've got the next generation of Shaper Origin.
Yeah!
All right, let's pull this out.
There we go.
Beautiful stuff.
And this is a very exciting moment for all of us at the team.
We've been working on this for years. Yeah.
And we're very thankful to have members of our engineering team here today to talk about it with you.
So we'll send it over to you, Justine and Jeremy.
Thanks, Jake and Russ. Hi, everyone. I introduced myself earlier. I'm Justine. I'm a program manager at Shaper. I joined about 2.5 years ago to work on the second generation of Origin, and I'm super excited to be here today to talk to you more about it.
And my name is Jeremy. I'm the head of engineering here at Shaper. I've been with Shaper for about 7 years, and I've also served as the system architect for both the first and now the second generation of Shaper Origin.
Nice. Well, let's dig into it and look at the changes a little bit. First glance, you're going to see they have similar silhouettes, but there's actually a lot of changes that went into the second generation of Origin. And it's all coming from all the feedback and the hour of coding that you have all like put into it, and we really took that feedback in to see how we can make this tool even more accessible, responsive, and intuitive to use. So let's look at those changes. One of the first things you're going to notice is now the overall like architecture has changed. We have now a single piece casted aluminium in post machine to create this like Gen 2 unibody tower. We also integrated the handle. They're all in metal, fully integrated with the rest of the part. It feels very robust. It's and very robust during the use. On top of that, that unibody is now complemented by a single piece rear cover. It's a big change from the first generation here. And the handle is still there and it's fully integrated as well in the unibody, as well as a vision system at the back.
Yeah, and in addition to looking really beautiful, which it does, we put a lot of work into the design of that unibody tower construction to reduce the amount of waste that we generate during the manufacturing process.
Yeah, absolutely. Another change that probably was one of the changes I'm the most excited about actually is the display. In this new generation, we put space for a bigger display. It's about 25% larger, has a higher definition, and a multi-touchscreen.
Yeah, so we custom designed this screen for Origin, and the focus here was developing a screen that gives you really bright colors, super sharp viewing, and it works even at the most oblique angles, so you can always see the screen clearly. We did a lot of work on the multi-touch as well to make sure that the touch response is super snappy and satisfying. It feels just really good to use this screen.
Yeah, super good, and like seriously, like once you try this new display, like bigger and brighter and more responsive, like it's really hard to go back. It's a pretty amazing change. On the back, let's go back to the vision system. So we also made a lot of improvement to the vision system. So first thing that is pretty obvious when you look at it is now we like have bigger space, and the light is actually we complemented with diffuser, which help diffuse the LED light, and it will help ensure that you can actually work on a variety of materials on a wide variety of lighting condition.
Yeah, and so just like the screen, this is a fully custom solution designed by Shaper explicitly for Origin. This is an all-new camera as part of our new next-gen vision system, higher resolution, faster frame rate. What this means for you is faster scanning of larger areas and detecting Shaper tape from farther away. That means it's easier and more convenient to work on larger pieces. Importantly, though, any fixtures that have been designed for the first generation of Origin will still work perfectly well with our next-gen vision system in Generation 2.
Yep. Let's look at the bottom now. Cool. So on this new design, now you can see the skid pad is fully flat, while in the first generation we actually had integrated a sensor bar here, which has been now removed. So you can tell us a little bit more like what that does, what that did, and what we do now?
Yeah, so for those of you who have used Origin before, you'll be familiar with our automatic Z touch-off feature that tells you the height of the bit. The way that worked with the first generation of Origin was a sensor that we had in the base here. Now, don't worry, we still do fully automatic, magical, amazing Z-axis touch-off sensing in the second generation of Origin, but we've integrated the sensors into the rest of the tool, and that's enabled us to make the base fully flat, which means no catching of the sensor bar on uneven work surface materials. It also means that you can touch off anywhere on any flat surface. You no longer have to worry about making sure that the specific sensor bar part of the bottom is resting on the surface that you're cutting.
Nice. Cool. I think that's most of the visual change, but we can look now inside the tool, what the big things that changed. So let's swap this.
Cool. So what you're looking at here is inside the base of the second generation of Origin and inside of the rear cover. So looking first at the base here, what you'll find is our auto-correcting motion system. This is the system that Shaper first pioneered in the first generation of Origin, and we've souped it up and continued to improve on it for the second generation of Origin. Same basic mechanism is the same, but again, all new design specifically for Origin. We're now using custom designed stepper motors, which you can see here, that enable us to pair with our next gen control algorithms and are tuned to provide the most responsive correction system yet. So we're really, really proud of the work that's gone into that. Looking inside the rest of the rear cover, you'll see all the other control electronics for Origin. These are all new compute electronics specifically designed by Shaper for Origins. The main takeaway here is faster processing, faster scanning, better path correction. It also incorporates dual band Wi-Fi, which means you're going to be able to operate farther and faster on your downloads of your designs and system updates.
Yeah. And I mean, you touched on that, but yeah, all this engineering work has been done here in San Francisco by a world-class team of engineer and designer. And we really stand to the quality of the product we provide. And as part of that, we also really care about who we're working with to assemble the product. And for the second generation, we are partnering with our sister company, Festool, to assemble it. And it is all happening in the state-of-the-art factory based in Germany. We are also continuing working with Festool, who is manufacturing the spindle motor. It has been designed specifically for Origin, the first generation, and it continued to work with them to manufacturing for the second generation of Origin. On top of that, we are partnering also with our other sister company, Thanos, and this new generation is going to ship in the latest Sustainer 3. So for people who follow Thanos and Festool, I'm sure you're going to be excited about that.
So as part of that process of working with Festool on the manufacturing of Origin, a big part that plays into it is our automated test and calibration system. So another thing we're really proud of here at Shaper is that we design and build our own automated test and calibration systems for Origin. What this means for you is that every single Origin that we built at that factory in Germany undergoes thousands of individual performance checks that make sure it's going to work perfectly when it goes off the end of the line. Each Origin system, its vision and motion system, gets calibrated to micron level of precision as part of that manufacturing process. And so we design the systems that enable that here, deploy them in Germany, and every Origin goes through those.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, as you can tell, we really, really care about providing high quality products and continue providing high quality products that are always as easy, accessible as ever, and really targeting and enabling craft people around the world to do their best work and with the highest precision. And we really stand by this product that we are announcing here today, and that's why we are extending the warranty to 2 years now when you register your tool. To do that, you'll find all the information in the Sustainer when you receive the tool on how to register it.
Yeah, and so again, we've put me, Justine, the rest of the engineers and designers on the team here have put in tens of thousands of hours into designing this product over the last couple years. We're really proud of it. We had a lot of fun working on it, and the singular goal was making a product that you're going to trust and love using. And so we really hope that you all enjoy using it as much as we love designing it.
Yeah, we're really excited to see what you're going to do with it. It's been a pleasure, and now we can't wait to see where you're taking it. And yes, that was the main part regarding the hardware, but we also have a lot of announcement on the software side for Origin, and so we're going to pass it on to Sean and Jake to tell you more about this.
Thank you, Justine and Jeremy. I really appreciate the deep dive on our new generation of Origin. I have Sean here, our product lead. Long time no see, buddy. Welcome back.
It's been a while. Thanks for getting me back on here. I always enjoy showing people new stuff.
I know, you've been busy. I kind of understand why you haven't been around
It's been a busy year, but it's my turn to talk about something very exciting with Origin. So as everyone knows with Origin, we do periodic free system updates, and I'm here today to introduce you to our latest one, and the name is Jenner. So Jenner is a small beach in Northern California. I think it's 122 people live in that town.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, and we're going to talk about what Jenner brings today. So real quick, Jenner brings three features. The first one is going to be manual touch-off. So if you've ever used Origin, and you need to specify your Z depth in some interesting way in soft materials or engraving bits, you can now use manual touch off, which allows you to lower the bit and kind of visually look and see where you're going to touch off. Hit the button, that's your 0. Show that in a minute. So that's the first upgrade for this. The second one is actually much bigger, and this is called depth encoding. So basically, with Origin previously, you could set the size of, or set the type of path you're cutting, an inside, an outside, online, a pocket, and you can change that on tool. Well, now we're offering depth encoding on Origin. So now you can say this path needs to be cut to this depth. And I'm going to walk you through how that works, and we're going to see how later that becomes even more important. So the idea being, you set your files up in Studio or directly on Tool, and then when you go into the workshop and cutting, you don't really have to think about all the depths. You just can have a little reminder that's built into the system.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. And then third is something that builds on depth encoding, which is AutoPass. Now, AutoPass is an optional paid extension for Origin, similar to Box Joint and Text Basic, that just really increases productivity, enhances your time on tool. So AutoPass takes depth encoding, and it automatically works its way down to the depths, and also updates your depth for you when you highlight over a path that you have depth encoded. So it's kind of a hands-free cutting experience, or not hands-free cutting experience, but you don't have to interact with the screen while you're cutting. You can just move the tool around.
It's a hands-on cutting
experience. It's a hands-on cutting experience where you don't have to stop, and it just really speeds up everything when you're using Origin. So we're going to walk through a couple demos now.
Let's do it.
All right. So if we come over here, I just put a couple circles in my screen, and you can now see there's a couple new icons that are showing up in the top corner here. And these icons give me a little hint of what's going on. So these files are actually, some of them are encoded and some of them aren't. So let's walk through how it works. So if you see the old depth icon, that means there's no encoded depth. You can work as you used to work, and it's all good. No changes there. But if you see an icon now like this, that means you're over. So if I click the depth icon, we'll see my tool's depth is 1/2 inch, and the encoded depth for this path is 1/4 inch. So I'll get a little warning. And if I try to cut, it'll block me and say, hey, you're exceeding the depth. Are you sure you want to cut? And this helps keep from making mistakes. If you've ever used Origin and you accidentally plunge too deep, or you cut the wrong hole, this system will now help you keep away from that. If you go over to a path that is equal to your cut depth, you'll see a green check mark. And here you can see the encoded depth is 1/2 inch, and we are at 1/2 inch. And so that means I'm all good, I'm perfect, I'm at the depth I wanted to be. And then if I'm on my way, I'll see another icon that says a little green dot that shows my encoded depth is 3/4 inch, and my cut depth on tool is 1/2 inch. So everything's okay. I'm just not there yet. Okay, so if I wanted to set one though, I can either do that through Studio, or I can come onto the tool directly. This one is an unset cut depth, so I'll just say we want to edit that, and let's just make this 0.5 as well. Now, because my cut depth is 0.5 and my encoded depth is 0.5, I'll see a green check mark, and we know we're ready to go. Now, if you're getting the free system update, you're still working your way through the depth. So in this case, I would probably cut it 1/4 inch, and then I would cut it 1/2 inch, and you would get the understanding of where you're at. If you accidentally typed over it, let's say I typed in 0.75, I'd see a warning and I'd get blocked. And so I wouldn't ruin my project because I accidentally typed in the wrong number. So that's depth encoding basics. You can do it on Studio or directly on Tool. And we try to make it easy. So on Tool, if you accidentally have something wrong, you can just edit it right here. We can change it to 0.55, 0.55, hit done, and now you'll see I'm over because the encoded depth is now set to 0.55. So if I can change it right on tool, and that just makes it easy for manipulating. I don't need to go back to my computer to fix it. Okay, so that's depth encoding. Now let's talk a little bit about this project we're working on. So I'm going to go ahead and load an old workspace while you bring me in, Jake.
Yeah, so remember we're talking all about this cabinet, all the different elements of the Shaper system and how they pertain to this fantastic project. We're going to be focusing on the box joints now. Remember those uneven box joints that we made in Studio, meaning each finger of the joint is a cascading width. So we're going to cut this with AutoPass, with depth encoding, and it's a game changer.
Yeah, so let's show you. So we mentioned manual touch off. I'm going to quickly show you how that works as well. So now when you go to Z-Touch, you have the option between manual and automatic. Typically we'll use manual Z-Touch only when I'm using soft material or engraving bits, but some people also like to use it as well. So normally it'll suggest one or the other depending on your bit size. In this case, I'm just going to click manual, and you now see we have a new screen here. So I kind of look below the surface, and I lower and raise the spindle until the material is just catching that surface. And then when that's correct, I can hit 0 and finish, and now it's automatically set. So for soft material engraving bits, that's a new feature that you can use to set your 0. In this case though, because we're on workstation, I'm just going to do the automatic Z-Touch like the old days and let that set. And now let's talk about AutoPass. Okay, so you'll see up here there's a large button in the corner, and right now my depth's set to 0.75. As soon as I click AutoPass, if I'm over a path that has a depth encoded, it will automatically update the depth for me. So I don't have to actually click that, it's just automatically set. Studio has the ability to set that for you. You may have even seen that playing around with Studio in the last few weeks, that there's a depth field. Well, Origin's now taking advantage of that feature, and we can just do it. So let's just cut it. So put some safety gear on. Now, one thing to note is by default, AutoPass will kind of set up your pass information for you. So if you open this window, you'll see that we're cutting 3 passes. 2 of them have a roughing offset applied, and then the last is a finishing pass. So this allows you to get really beautiful quality without having to even touch the screen. And so I can click anywhere, dismiss that, and let's cut.
Let's do it. I'm going to back away just while he gets started cutting. And I'm going to gush a little bit about just how amazing AutoPass is. It is an absolute game changer. Being hands-on the tool the entire time and being able to just go through all your depths and your finish pass without retracting is so epic and so fast. It's the new way to cut. And I want to come up here a little closer while he's doing these cuts and try to get a stop. Goes going into his finish pass, back into it. So the transition from different depths to your finish pass is a very smooth ramping process. So as you plunge, you actually ramp down into the depth instead of straight to the depth and then start cutting. And same thing from depth 1 to depth 2. And from your rough offset to your finish offset. The ramp is designed to be a really smooth process to ease your cutter into the material and allow you to cut smoothly and quickly.
All right, as easy as that, we are done. So let's pull this out.
I want to make sure everyone realized there was no retraction right there.
Yeah, I mean that's the real beauty of the
That was
auto
just
pass. Is
straight to the business.
click once. I mean, essentially what you can think about is each path needs to be clicked once. And then you just move origin to the next thing, click again. And every time you finish a cut, your cut's complete. So let's pull this out.
Bam.
Nice. And I think, you probably mentioned it while we were cutting, but, AutoPass automatically does roughing passes, and then at the end, it goes out to the edge and does the finishing pass for you. So it's as easy as that.
Yeah, and I tried my best to describe the ramping process of how it eases you into your material.
Totally, both, vertically and horizontally. So, you can just spend your time getting good output and quickly enjoying your time in the shop, and you'll be as efficient and productive as ever.
I tell you what, once you use it once, you'll never be able to go
Yeah,
back.
it is quite difficult to go back after you get a taste for it. So that's AutoPass, Jenner, the free software. One note is that Jenner will be releasing on November 21st. That's when you can get access to the Jenner upgrade as well as AutoPass for purchase. You can check it out on shapertools.com/AutoPass.
Right on.
All right, so now that we've cut these, I think, we're working our way through this cabinet. I think it's time to throw it over to Adi, and he's going to show us how the files were designed in Studio.
Over to you, Adi.
Thank you, Sean and Jake, for giving us a run-through of Jenner and AutoPass. I can tell you from having used AutoPass a whole bunch in the last month that I am incredibly excited for people to try it. It's especially a huge game changer once you tie it together with Shaper Studio. So, Shaper Studio, that's what I'm here to talk to you about. Hi, my name's Adi. I'm the product lead for Shaper Studio. I've actually been at Shaper a little over 5 years now, and have been working on this product for almost 2 years. So Shaper Studio started as labs. If you're part of the Origin community for a while, you probably got your hands on labs, and we incubated that product in the community and are now just recently shipped it, just 2 weeks ago actually, as Shaper Studio. So Shaper Studio, sort of the quick one-liner on it is that it's digital design for craftspeople. Now, what does that actually mean? Now, we understand that for a lot of people, digital design can be very intimidating. It can be very daunting to know where to start. And especially as a craftsperson who likes building things with your hands, being in the shop, making sawdust, spending time learning a digital design tool, that just doesn't sound very fun. Forget, having to actually master one. And if that sounds like you, then Studio is for you. So critically, I think, we always talk about Studio as being the 10-minute design tool. So what that really means is that what we want to get you back to making things in your shop and not spend time fussing around on the computer. So let's dive into what that, how we actually achieve that, and how we make Studio super accessible. So the demo I'm going to do today is going to be on my MacBook, so it's a desktop or a laptop computer, and I'm going to be using Google Chrome, which is a web browser, but Studio is a web app, and that means that you can access it from any modern web browser on any computing device. So you can be on your laptop, you can also be on your phone in your workshop, so you're not leaving the environment that you're actually making things in. So let's dive into Studio, and we're going to cut to my screen now so you can look at the interface. So right off the bat, you can see we got a really clean interface, not too many buttons. On the left side, you can see these 4 buttons, and those are just a great starting point. So we can start by making a shape, and maybe I just want a rectangle. I click the rectangle button, and boom, there's a rectangle on the screen. And I can quickly resize this rectangle to the dimensions I want, all while working, in real world dimensions, not in pixels or other dimensions in vector programs. Here I'm working in imperial units. I could also be working in millimeters if I wanted, and easily switch over. I'm going to switch back to inches. I could add some text to this really quickly. Let's say AutoPass is amazing. I'm excited for it. And we got that on the canvas right away. I can go ahead and choose from a variety of fonts. This is one of my favorite fonts on here. It's called Comica. And very quickly you can see that I have a little sign forming. And we can add some flair to this. AutoPass makes things really quick, so let's add a little lightning bolt, if I can spell lightning right. There we go. And we got a huge variety of art to choose from, but let's see if we can do a good job of composing this. There you go, just like that. I made a quick sign, said AutoPass is amazing, and I can cut this on any digital fabrication tool I want. Origin, a laser cutter, any tool that takes an SVG file. All right, so that was just a quick walkthrough. A lot more to dive into there. You can always go to shapertools.com/studio and look at all the features. But let's look at the file that Sean was cutting and to give you a little run through of how that was created. So here's the file for tasteful box joints. This is actually the side panel of the cabinet that Russ designed and built. And here you can see that we designed all this in Studio previously. This rectangle right here actually represents the stock, and this sort of sawtooth shape represents the cuts. And so one of the things that we did here on Studio is added a planning feature. And what that lets you do is actually plan your cuts before you ever get onto tool. So this is incredibly time-saving because once you encode these cuts, so you can encode, just like Origin, you can encode to be inside, outside. I could change that to be outside. Could change it to be inside. All of that information is automatically transferred to tool, so you don't have to futz around on that screen. And you can do that while planning or actually creating your design. I could also now set my depths for each of the cuts. So you can see here it's set to 0.65 inches. And now with Jenner, that depth is actually encoded into the file. And so you don't actually have to remember those or keep a little notepad of each cut type. If you cut over, Origin will actually warn you. And if you have AutoPass, you never have to even worry about that. Origin will automatically use those cutting depths, and you can cut straight to the depth you want. All right, so that's basically how we cut it. You can also use this feature to help you plan your cuts. Here we're just sort of fooling it by adding a really big diameter, but we can see what a 1/4 inch bit might look like. So they're just sort of giving you an idea of how powerful this could be. But to make this a little more real, let's actually design and cut the rest of this project. So part of this cabinet, we did the side panels. That's what Sean cut earlier. Here's the top panel, the top and bottom panel. They're basically the same part. And here you can see this 14-inch by 8-inch rectangle that represents the actual top panel. These boxes or rectangles right here are actually the fingers of the box joint. And so we've already laid this out really quickly on Tool. And we can do that, or on Studio, by actually typing in the positions. So if I turn on my position feature right here, you can see all of this was designed relative to the center of this rectangle. And we actually just placed these based on that. But what I really want to do here is actually add an arc to the bottom of this top panel to match that curved door that we had, or the Cooper door that Russ was referring to earlier. And so, we've measured the radius of that door or the diameter of that door, and it's 46.5 inches. So all I'm going to do here is actually make a 46.5 inch circle. And now I'm going to just quickly align that, and you can see as I move that circle around, it's snapping to the bottom. And now all I want to do is actually cut out this little arc from the rectangle. So I'm going to select that rectangle and a circle, hit the shapeshifter tool, which lets you combine shapes super quickly and easily, and just select the part I want to keep and hit make shape. There you go, just like that. I have made a little arc on this top side. So we're going to use the same file for the top panel and the bottom panel, and this arc should match our Cooper door perfectly. So this whole time I was doing this, the file was actually getting automatically saved to your Shaper account in my files, and automatically syncing to your origin. So there's no downloading, no saving. It just shows up in your origin as long as your origin is actually connected to Wi-Fi. Now the origin we're going to be using to cut this file just happens to be in Stuttgart, Germany. It could be in my shop, but this one happens to be with Mirja in Stuttgart, Germany. So she's going to have this automatically synced to her tool and can start cutting right away. Before I let you go though, again, just a reminder, go to shapertools.com/studio to learn more about Studio. And better yet, pull up your phone right now, go to studio.shapertools.com, and you can start a free trial from there just by clicking a single button. We don't need a credit card. You get a 14-day free trial. Give it a whirl. Let us know what you think. All right, Flo and Mirja, off to you.
Yeah, thank you, Adi. So I'm logged in with my origin with the same account as Adi was on Studio. So what you can see here, what I already did, I scanned my workspace and I already gridded. So I can go into design mode and import the file, the top panel. So then I set my anchor point to this, and I take the position of 0.0, and then this file will move where I need it. So I will place it, and then I can go into cut mode, go to this path, set it to outside, and then I will use or set the depth to 10 millimeter, and then I set all of my other cut parameters, and I'm ready to go.
Mia, what kind of cut are you going to use for this project?
Yeah, so I'm using the 8 millimeter, which you might show to.
I have it lined up right here. Yeah, good choice for this one. It's a long reach cutter, our longest reach one, 3 flutes, performs super well on solid wood. Really excited to see the cut.
Sure. So yeah, my file is ready to cut. So I will protect my ears and eyes, and then I'm ready to plunge.
Nice. So while Mirja is doing the cutting, I think I'm going to show you a couple of the cutters we have in the store. So I prepared quite some stuff here. Let's look at the lineup, what we currently have. So biggest one, 60 millimeters, then the 8 millimeter long reach one, which we're just using for this cut. This one is the latest release. It's a 5 millimeter O-flute cutter, really good performance on multiply, and then some more advanced cutters for dovetails and T-slots. We're going to talk about this one in a second. Then we have the engrave bit and the 6 and 3 millimeter cutters. And then looking over on the US lineup, I have a couple, not all of them actually, but a couple of them. This is the 90 degree engrave bit, a couple of O-flute ones for different materials like acrylic. This one also performs really well on metal. Then we have some more advanced cutters like this one, internally called the unicorn cutter. It's the tapered ball one for intricate joinery. And then we have some more standard cutters over here. All right, so let's take a quick look over to Mirja, how she's doing there. Seems she's still cutting. Okay, let's take a quick look at this little box here. It's the Premium Project pen tray. And it has this opening mechanism. And it's a good example of how different cutters can be used in one project. So let's open up the lid and take a look in it. So for this project, we used 3 different cutters to clear out this big pocket. We were using the 60 millimeter bit, so it's perfect for pocketing. And then we used actually this one over here, the ball nose cutter, to do the detailing in the inside. You can see it right there. And then, of course, for the mechanism itself, for the lid, we are using the T-slot cutter, which goes right in here. So that's just one example of how you can use multiple cutters in one project. But I'm hearing that Mirja must be done. Let's have a look.
Sure, yeah. So I'm already done with cutting. So you can see we have this nice curve. And try to get it off. Okay, I will just get it off with the shelf and also show it to the top cam. So this is how fast you can go from studio file to, a finished piece. So, now we almost finished everything of the cabinet, but it's still hardware which is needed. So I will hand it off to Noah and Russ.
All right, thank you very much, Mirja, for that studio demo. Now it is time to cut some hardware mortises in this rounded door panel using
the hardware catalog.
All right.
Plate, the universal template for Origin.
That's what we got right here.
Yeah, so we've got already set up in Plate the template for the sauce 101 and a little bit of extra sauce on there. You get it?
Hey.
There's already encoded depth in that template from the hardware catalog. And starting November 21st, when Jenner ships, every item in the hardware catalog will have encoded depth, ready to use out of the box. And that means that any of those can be used with AutoPass. So you're looking at this amazing system now between Plate, Origin, and AutoPass, and the hardware catalog. You get some hardware installed.
No more fiddling around on your screen to set your depths. So let's show you guys how quick this can be. I'm first going to lay out my lines on this door panel just to show where we're going to line up Plate. So this door panel is 28 inches long. I want these marks 10 inches from the center. So that's going to be at 4 inches and at 24 inches right there. So we're set to deploy Plate's front fence right here. We can move Origin out of the way, line that front fence up with that pencil mark that I've made, retract that front fence. Now what I'm going to do is bring Origin to Plate's workspace, and with that computer vision system, Origin automatically recognizes what's going on, what workspace it's looking at, and so it's pulled up this Sauce 101 template that I was working with earlier. You can see that workspace, Plate Sauce 101. This is from the hardware catalog, already aligned with Plate. I set this up before the show, and now this template is ready to go anytime I want to cut a sauce hinge. So really, all I'm going to do, I'm not going to hit any buttons on screen. You can see we've got AutoPass ready to go. It preloads our depth for us. I'm just going to turn Origin on and cut these 2 hinge mortises. So what do you say we let her rip?
Go for it.
Okay. All right, there's one, and you can see how Origin automatically spiraled down depth by depth and spiraled out when I was at that finish pass. Now I'm lined up with my second mark here. I'm going to retract that fence again, bring Origin over. It's going to know I'm in the exact same location with reference to plate, and we're ready to cut this second mortise. Now look at that. That is a hinge mortise cut with plate, shaper origin, and the hardware catalog. And you can see that that is just an absolute spot on fit. I didn't even have to touch Origin's screen to make that happen. Just once your file is uploaded, you set plate to your marks and you are ready to hit the green button and go.
Just like that.
How cool is that?
Yeah, pretty cool.
So how did we get here?
Yeah.
That's all about the hardware catalog.
Yeah,
So we've got Noah here, the product lead for Shaper Hub, to tell us about that.
Yeah. Thanks for having me back on.
Welcome. It's been a minute.
It's been a little while, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in any event, hardware catalog was released in December of last year, and since then we've added about 100 items, and that list is just going to keep on growing. And as of November 21st, when Jenner ships, every item in the hardware catalog is going to have encoded depth. So that means that when you get that item on Origin, AutoPass or not, you'll actually be able to see what's going on.
Exactly.
And you won't have to fiddle too much. And especially with AutoPass, it means that you are just kind of one click, go,
You're a machine.
hardware installation machine. So let's take a look through hardware library and see what's going on there. Remember that anytime you're looking for hardware, this is where you want to start. You want to go to Shaper Hub. You want to go to the hardware catalog. We'll just jump right out to the top. Again, this button here, click hardware catalog, and we're going to take a look maybe for a hinge here. This Salice air hinge, just as a good example. You can take a look inside of this hardware item. We've got both of these profiles here, both for the A side and the B side of this air hinge, and it's really as easy as just clicking a button. You can see we've added this file successfully. We're going to jump over to the Origin screen cam.
Right, so let's show that on import here. We can see it shows up right at the top, but I can also look at my entire hardware catalog collection by clicking that hardware icon right at the top, and you can see that Salice air hinge is right there.
Just like magic, yeah?
Perfect.
All right. And remember, if you're not finding anything that you want, we're continually growing the hardware catalog. So if you just take a look at the bottom of the search results in any hardware search, we'll say search for something like butt hinge. That's a fun one. I don't think we have a whole lot in there. Maybe more than we thought. Gonna load more. Okay, don't see the hardware you need? Let us know. So click that button, toss a submission in there, and that's going to go into a list that really helps us prioritize the items that you're looking for and that we can get added to the catalog.
Yeah, perfect. So we've done the whole Shaper system today. We started with this cabinet. We cut some box joints with Workstation. We designed some box joints, and we designed a rounded top panel in Studio. We installed these sauce hinges here in our door panel using plate and the hardware catalog, and we cut it all with the next generation of Origin. So we're about to sign off. We wanted to just bring the whole team back up here, and the Stugi team also, if you want to sign off here, let's switch over to them.
This has been incredible. It's so inspiring to see encoded files, and we are so excited to get this here.
Ja, vielen Dank an euch. Schön, dass ihr dabei wart. Yeah, and now microphone back to you.
Okay, and from everyone here, the Shaper family in San Francisco, Stuttgart, Germany, thank you, and we'll see you on the next Shaper session.
Happy cutting, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.